93.5 FM.
Hey, we welcome you in as we continue along preseason dog days, but tomorrow there's another club coming to the 904. Have you heard?
It's exciting.
Absolutely. It is exciting.
Tampa Bay Bucs rolling in.
Buccaneers will be here.
2 days.
Yeah, they I want them to go back to the orange, the peach sherbet. Any chance I'll ever go back to that?
I think that is the worst uniform.
Oh, you hate it?
I get, and I'm in the very much the minority.
Everybody hated it at the time.
I hate the creamsicle.
Oh, I love them. And now everybody hated it at the time.
Really?
Yeah, because everyone said, I remember when they came out in 1976, someone said, light orange and red? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You can't have red and orange in the same uniform.
Right.
I remember that they had, you can't have, well, it's light, it doesn't, you can't have light orange. Remember, that was their colors.
Yeah.
Light orange, red, and white. Nobody, that was dumb. But now I love it. No.
Yeah, and I think most people are really excited about it, but it's.
I love your passion. I love your hateful passion. Passion doesn't have to be good.
Yeah.
Jay, did you like the creamsicle or no?
Terrible.
You hate it?
Terrible. To think that there was like a meeting of people who decided this is what we're rolling with, and they like for the first ever uniform of a franchise.
Right.
That just shows the 70s was a different time, man.
Someone said, hey, let's put – I love it, by the way. But
put down the LSD 70s, please. Wow.
And maybe the reason I love it is because it's so goofy. But someone had to get in a room and say, look, we need two colors that go together.
Yes.
So let's
find the most clashing colors imaginable, please.
Blue and gold. Now we got that. Black and gold. Now we got that. Navy blue and white. Now we got that. Hey, boss, how about light orange and red? Give that guy a promotion. Okay, give that guy a raise. So I love him, though. I miss him. So a lot of things to talk about today on the program. We'll talk some Jaguars football, get an idea of kind of where they are. Tashawn Gibson spoke with some folks today. I'll be interested. What's your read on him being here? Obviously, he's out for 6 weeks, which oddly could coincide with about when Dewey comes back. You know, what's your read? I mean, my read on it is they think they're good. Go get a guy who knows how to win, who's been on winning franchises, including this one in 17, San Francisco obviously more recently. When you're good and when you're in your window, that's when you go finish the job. What's your take on that?
I thought it was a real savvy move because if Tashawn still has good football left, he's 34, so that's always going to be a question mark once you get into that age. But I mean, 165 career starts, 33 career interceptions, very obviously smart, savvy player. And, I think it makes all the sense in the world. I mean, yes, you don't have him for the first 6 weeks. Well, don't focus on that. Focus on the fact that you've got him for the final 11 and for the playoff run if you're able to qualify for it. So this is my read on it is they probably like their athleticism at safety. They're a little concerned about missed assignments, would be my guess. And it really hasn't looked that bad to me in training camp. But to their credit, I think they're maybe getting ahead of this before it bites them. And I think they look at Gibson as somebody that will have no trouble digesting what is being asked of him and can be a sounding board for the younger guys. And I know, Doug has talked about depth with him. I don't think it's depth. I think Tashawn Gibson is starting at safety in week 7, would be my guess. I mean, to me, you don't sign this player for him to not be out there. So I think, he'll be out for the first 6 games, but I think Tashawn Gibson's a starter starting in week 7, and if he's healthy, through the rest of the year.
Yeah, and again, I think they feel like they've got a good team. You can never underestimate or overstate that. I feel like this is the team that feels like I think they feel like they've got a good football team. I think that's the problem.
And look, this won't be. I think they're going to make a move at the deadline if they can. Obviously, it takes 2, and we'll see. But I agree with you. Whether they're right or not, they believe that this is a group that can win the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Or certainly get to it, contend for it, and so I think they like the idea of having a veteran coming in week 7 to give them that boost. I would be really surprised if they don't make a lot of calls at the trade deadline that we've talked about. They've got glut is too strong, but they've got some extra draft capital. And so in looking at it, and when you make those kind of deals at the deadline, you're not usually talking about, 2 1s and 2 2s. Usually you're talking about getting a veteran that's sort of soured in his current spot, and you're sending back a 4th round, 5th round, 6th round pick, something like that. But the player could really help you. That's where I think this is headed. So I think they're gonna, you're gonna see some staggering of talent coming in. Deshaun Gibson, week 7, would not be the least bit surprised if they made a move. And they could even make a move prior to the opener, but that would be a little surprising for me. But as of today, not knowing what injury situations are going to arise, I would be surprised if they don't trade for a veteran at the deadline to continue to boost their team.
And particularly if it's going the way you hope it goes. I watching the other night, I watched and thought to myself, hey, this is a good team. I said, I gave you the barometer I use. Let's start with, and I know I just said this yesterday, but let me say it again just one more time for impact. Let's start with a dividing line after team 16. That means 16 up, 16 down. That means 16, and it's never quite that cut and dried. But most sports you can divide up the pretty good teams versus the ones that have some work to do. I don't think anybody around here debates that the Jags are in that top 16. I do think there's people nationally that because you made this point too, because everybody's got them 13 through 18, right? I mean, if you nationally, that there'd be some debate, but there's no debate in my mind they're in that top 16. If you did a line there, the question then becomes, are they 14? Are they around 14? Are they around 8? Or are they around 5? That's the question, which if you broke that 16 into thirds, 2 5s and a 6, would they be in the first 5? I'm not sure.
I'd say no.
Yeah. Would they be in the second?
They could get there.
But would they
going into the season, I don't think very many people would think they are.
Are they in the second 5? For me, maybe.
Perhaps.
Yeah, or are they in the last 6? The last 6 of the top half. They're definitely there. At worst, they're definitely there. So, again, I think that's one of the reasons you make a move. We got some other things, fun stuff coming up for you today, including my guy to shine. You caught up with him. You caught up with my guy, Tank.
Yeah. Had a really fun conversation. And, he was really insightful on kind of what he went through last year and his camp so far and just getting that chance to hit the reset button. So, yeah, I would agree. I'm very optimistic on Tank Bigsby. I was incredibly disappointed with what happened last year. But I have a renewed sense of optimism that Tank Bigsby is going to have an outstanding second year here in the role that's being asked of him. I'm not expecting 900 yards rushing and 200 yards receiving because I think ETN's going to have the gaudy numbers. But I think for the role that he is going to be asked to play, I think Tank Bigsby is going to do a really nice job.
Yeah, so he certainly will. So we'll certainly talk about that. We'll get into some other things today on the program as well. Some college football. The Gators lost an important defensive end, I think. We'll certainly talk about that. And I want to talk a little bit about the importance of DJ Uiagalelei to the Noles and how important his spot is, if you will. So that's on the docket.
Did you see Feinbaum today say that FSU won't finish the season ranked?
Yeah. Did he say that?
Yeah.
Did he?
That would really surprise me. I think I think it was just I need to say something today that'll get people's attention. So congratulations, Paul.
And he is that guy.
But I will say, since it's a team that obviously we cover very closely, that would really shock me if Florida State, because basically Florida State would have to lose every game that's somewhat in doubt.
Right.
Their schedule just it's not difficult enough, I think, for them to finish unranked. So you'd pretty much have to lose to all the coin flip games, Clemson, Miami, Florida, and I don't think that's going to happen. So, but I did find it interesting. I think his point was basically the whole team's new.
Yeah.
And so why would we put them 10th in the preseason when the whole team is basically being built from scratch?
Well, I've got a thought about DJ and how it relates to what you just said. All right, I got a thought about DJ, and I'm going to get to that kind of early in the program. I got some fun stuff. I say early. It was certainly midway through the program. I got some thoughts about that. So some college football talk coming up as well. The other thing I want to get to, if we have time, where will Steph Curry be in the remembrance of American sports fans when he's not playing anymore?
Very high.
I mean, like really high, right? I mean, in all, is he Jeter? because Jeter's so likable.
I actually think that's an excellent comparison.
But I've been trying to think
because he's not going to be considered like the greatest to ever do it.
Correct.
But from a likability and a winning standpoint,
and a recognizability and winning
and that captain aura.
Yeah,
much better player than Jeter ever was.
Yeah,
Jeter's really good though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, what is Jeter?
Jeter's like the most overrated player of all time.
I think he's like 4th all time in hits.
Yeah,
Derek Jeter. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up. But
Jeter
singles hitter.
Yeah. Well, and Jeter never had power. Jeter's a really good player. To JJ's point, and I don't think he's overrated at all, so I disagree with you on that. But to your point, if you ran through best 20 players of all time, Jeter's not getting mentioned.
Oh, my God. He's not even in the top 100.
But if you go through top 20 basketball players of all time.
Has to be Steph.
Yeah, well, I don't know about has to be, but he's probably in there. He's probably in that 20. If you go 20 deep of best.
Maybe at the end of the 20th.
Yeah.
Jeter is 6th all time in hits.
Yeah, Derek Jeter's a really good
long
player.
career.
Really good. But he's a really good player.
But if you ask people, they would say Jeter's like one of the best players. That's why I say he's overrated.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't think he was a good player.
Yeah,
but like people act like Derek Jeter because he was the shortstop for those Yankees teams was like one of the best players in the league at the time, and that was never true.
But 4th all time in hits.
That's pretty damn good.
Sixth all time in a sport that's
it's
been played
Pete
for
Rose,
200.
Ty Cobb, Hank Aaron, Stan Musial, Speaker, and then Jeter.
Yes, I mean, so he's a really, really, really good player. So back to the comparison, and I'm not even talking about where he ranks in greatness of all time. He strikes me. He reminds me of Jeter, likable as heck, recognizable as heck, really good. Yet I'm not listing either. In my mind, I'm not listing either one of them in the top 5 or 10 of all time. Yet they might be in the top 5 or 10 of all time in this recognizable, likability.
Winning.
They both,
clutch,
exactly.
winning.
They both have a ton of rings.
Yeah. So I think there's, because the Steph thing is pretty amazing, and again, the greatness of Steph.
And who doesn't like Curry?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
But the greatness of Steph, the greatness of him, is in one of the ultimate athletic sports. He's not super big. I don't think he jumps super high.
No, he stands out in a bad way.
He doesn't run super fast.
Yeah.
He changed the entire way the game is played.
Without a doubt.
Like,
right.
That, to me, is way beyond anything that Jeter would ever do.
Reggie Miller's a great shooter. He's also almost 6'8". Yeah, he's a basketball body, you know. Steph Curry, if you didn't recognize him, and it's Steph, 35, I don't know.
Something like that.
If you saw him on the street, somewhere in there, wherever he is, but if you saw him in street clothes and it wasn't a recognizable face, you'd think he's the guy that works for the accounting firm.
He's 36.
He's 36.
6'2".
Yeah, you bumped into him. He'd be a guy that works for the insurance company. You know what? He's been an adjuster for a while.
Yeah.
He just got promoted to adjuster supervisor.
He's a lot bigger than he was.
Yeah.
You know, like arm-wise, he's got a little tone and definition
Well,
now. But when he came into the league,
even at Davidson, he looked like a little
child.
guy.
He's got his arms are a little bigger because he looks like the insurance adjuster that goes to the Y.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's how But it's pretty amazing to look that normal. Now baseball players look normal. I mean, Wade Boggs look normal.
Or fat.
But to look that normal, it's pretty amazing. So we'll get to that. We got a lot of fun stuff. We'll do some baseball. By the way, just so you know, as you lament the collapse of the Braves, I thought now that my season's over, JJ, the Pirate season's over. They've lost 7 in a row, 10 out of 11.
Wow, I didn't realize that. 7
in a row, and they've lost 10 out of 11. Get this stat though. This crazy stat. Hays, they've lost 10 of 11 games. I've never seen anything like this. 8 of the 10 were one-run games.
Wow.
I've never seen that. I've never seen a team lose.
It's crazy.
8 of the 10 are one-run games. I mean, that's pretty bizarre.
It might be time for you to speak to the team.
Yeah, well, we've missed that window is the problem, okay? I was available. Now I got this football stuff, all right? But I was available. So
wow, you guys are in the cellar?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Fast.
7 straight and 10 of 11.
Oh, my God.
Life comes at you fast.
This actually says that on ESPN standings, they've lost 8 in a row.
Is that right? It may now be 8. Yeah, I thought it was 7.
Just
It
like
says
blocking
they've
it out of your
lost
mind
8, and
now.
then they're 1 of 9 in their last 10.
Yeah, but they've won 10 of 11. All
The
one
Braves, meanwhile, 3 and 7 in their last 10.
Yeah. Well, by the way, the Braves have less excuse than my team does because the Braves have good players.
Yeah, there's
okay?
no excuse for us.
Right. The Pirates don't have that thing called good players. So.
How's Skeens doing?
He actually lost the other day. He allowed 4
I
runs.
saw a crazy stat with Skeens.
He allowed 4 runs. You know what I think? this is going to sound so defeatist, but if this doesn't turn around in another couple
Shut
weeks,
him down.
I'd shut him down.
Yeah,
I would shut him down.
I agree.
I would shut him down. I mean, listen, we don't get this very often, a guy like that. I'd shut him down.
I'll tell you a stat that'll go to that point is in his first 5 starts, he threw like 40 or 50 balls over 100 miles an hour pitches.
Right.
In his last 10 starts, you could count on one hand how many pitches.
Yeah.
And obviously it's part of him trying to tone it down a little, but it's also, when you got to start against these big leaguers every 5 days, it's a different ball game.
And you've never been an every 5-day starter.
Exactly.
You've been a pro either. So I shut him down. Let's talk to Tank Biggs when we come back. That's the subject of this Hays Carlyon one-on-one. I got a lot of thoughts about Tank, about the Jaguars. The Bucs come to town tomorrow. A lot to do on the program. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
The station that's not afraid to trade a little paint.
Oh, look out.
This Sunday at Michigan International Speedway. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
The coolers are full at your local Gate gas station, making it easy for you to cruise in and cruise out with little downtime. Ice cold Coronas, Natty Light, Stella Artois, and Michelob Ultra. Don't forget the king of beers, Cold Buds. Gate's got them in the cooler, waiting for you.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's going to be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This is Hays Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Are mosquitoes turning your outdoor fun into a full contact sport? It's time to call in Kingfish Pest Control. I can tell you from my own experience, they are the MVPs of mosquito elimination. Call Kingfish Pest Control today and get an unbeatable 50% off your first treatment. That's right, sign up for a full season of lockdown coverage and get 50% off your first treatment. Don't let mosquitoes steal your home field advantage. That's Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Got a cracked windshield? Not only is it dangerous, but did you know it's also illegal? Call Baker Glass. Mack and his crew use the best auto glass in the market, and they accept most insurance. Plus, all new windshields come with a full warranty. From cars, to trucks, to RVs, you can count on Baker Glass to be fast and friendly. Just check out their Google reviews. Come see us at the shop on Casta Avenue, or we can come to you at your home or business.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Googan Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving, they can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Kuhn Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Kuhn Flowers.
Are you tired of living with constant pain from torn ligaments or nagging tendinitis and bothersome joint pain? Say goodbye to endless medications and invasive surgeries. Go BioTarget Regenerative Treatment is available only at injury care centers. Their innovative approach helps you recover faster and get back to doing what you love without drugs or surgery. Don't just treat the symptoms, target the root cause with BioTarget. Visit GoBioTarget.com to learn more and schedule your appointment today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
All right, so you have dogs.
I do.
The dog. You walk the dogs? What? Y'all walk
I do walk the dogs. Mm-hmm.
JJ, you had dogs growing up, but not now, right?
Yeah, since I moved to Jacksonville, I've been dogless.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that.
You
how
have
much
a dog?
What?
You have a dog?
I do have a dog. So how much time do we dog owners spend walking with a bag of poop?
Quite a bit.
Do you wave with the bag or do you wave with the other hand?
See, I'm like I kind of treat it like I'm carrying like a prize.
Yeah, do you?
So I don't like hide it.
Yeah,
like I wave it. I kind of wave it at cars as they drive by.
But that's
like friendly, like hey Bob, and instead of using this hand I'll use the poop hand.
That's the dilemma. That's the dilemma I have. I used to wave with the poop.
Yeah.
But it just felt wrong, and so now I have the leash hand and the poop hand together.
Yeah.
And wave with the. But I mean, I'm wondering.
Yeah.
How do people do it?
I'm a bad citizen. I would find the first neighbor trash can outside and I just throw it in there. Seriously, every single time.
I totally believe that. But do you wave with the poop hand or do you wave with the empty? Well, what's proper protocol?
Well, that I don't know. But for me, it's a personal choice
to wave with
and
the poop.
For me, I like to wave it, with the bag.
Well, but again, I've now because again I'm a better person than you, but I used to always wave with the poop, but now I just feel waving with the poop is like almost disrespectful. But but I love where you are. Almost being right.
Yeah.
But
well, I look at it as I'm actually showing respect because I'm letting you know
that I picked it up,
that I'm taking care of the neighborhood.
Okay, good. I was thinking about that today. I'm walking on. I'm thinking, I now will never wave with. I never wave with the poop.
The question,
I don't. The poop will be in the leash hand, and I wave without it.
The question that I always have to wrestle with is if I'm walking the dogs and it's at night, and no one's out, like it's
right.
like 10 o'clock at night.
You can get away with stuff. That's where you're going.
Well, so if the
He's checking
if the
car
dogs,
handles are unlocked.
If the dogs go in what I would call like more of a commons area.
Yeah.
then it's like you have to wrestle with, okay, do I need to pick this up? And
Right.
I tend to pick it up,
Right.
but
I love the fact that you've given
if it's
it
in
thought.
somebody's yard, if it's on somebody's property, you got to pick it up.
Yeah,
like
right.
without question.
But
You
in a
got to pick
common
it up.
area, maybe
But
not.
if it's in like a common area that isn't really a walkway, then I think there's a little bit of a gray area there.
Yeah, okay.
But I
A
still
brown
usually,
area, if you will.
we'll pick it up.
Okay,
So.
I just
But I do have that,
again,
that
I think
voice
of-
on my shoulder
Yeah,
that says,
I
you can leave that.
Yeah,
No, that's not going to bother
okay, I got
anybody.
it.
But I tend to ignore that
See,
voice.
you see, again, you, though, have thought through it more. I'm just trying to figure out which hand to wave with. You've
Yeah.
gone way deeper on this than I have.
I think about
You're a
things
deep
a lot.
thinker.
Yeah,
You're a
and-
deep
and
thinker.
great,
But anyways,
great thought.
but I cannot remember the last time I waved with the boot.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's liberating.
I've waved. I've waved open hand now. I mean, I'm on a little bit of a streak. You know, respect the streak.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a wave. Sometimes I just kind of flip the bag a little
But you
bit
always
towards
wave.
them, and that's sort of
But you always
like
wave.
it sounds funny, but it actually, if you saw it, it looks like I am kind of
Throwing
giving you a hat tip kind of thing.
I get it. All right, very good.
Yeah, the head nod works.
Yeah, okay, there's that. So my point all along has been that Travis Etienne's one of the better backs in the league. I stand by that. But all backs in this day and age are better when you reduce their carries. I also think Tank Bigsby has a different playing style. I do think he's a downhill runner by who he is. Is this the year? We're going to hear from him in a minute, but a serious question because you've watched this too. Do you sense this is the year? It's only 1 year later. It's not like he's been in the league 8 years.
Right.
But do you sense that after a rookie year that was really weird at the beginning, that all that's behind him?
I do. Press Taylor said today, I mean, his name is fitting. He is a tank. And that's exactly what we're seeing. It's shown up in training camp. I thought it showed up against the Chiefs, even though we only had 7 offensive snaps. I did like, the when he got a chance, I liked what he did with it. Obviously, on the kick return, he should have scored. He just tripped, but he'd broken free. And so I think with Tank, I do think he needs to have success early. Something good needs to happen for Tank Bigsby in the Dolphins game, and certainly nothing bad can happen to Tank in the first couple of games. He needs to at the very least, just be nondescript to start. Because I think he has confidence, but how could that confidence not get shaken if something bad happens at the outset of the regular season? But I think for right now, he looks very confident. He should look very confident. And again, he's still somebody that, he's still just 22 years old. So a very young man. And again, we talk about this with athletes, but I think it's very difficult to play your final year of college football, immediately go into the draft process, particularly for a player like Tank Bigsby. You're not going to be a top 10 pick. You're not going to be a first round pick. So you've got to really ace the draft process. You've got to ace every interview. You play a position that's been de-emphasized in this league. And then you get drafted and you show up, new city, new offense, new teammates, and you've got to get up to speed. It's incredibly difficult. So I think some players really need that off season after their rookie year just to breathe and compartmentalize what's happened and take a deep breath and have a fresh start. And I think Tank Bigsby, maybe more than any athlete on the roster going into his second year, has benefited more from that. Parker Washington's done an outstanding job too, and his rookie season, I'm sure, was viewed as a disappointment. But I think Tank Bigsby and Parker Washington have both done an excellent job, and I do think it's going to carry over. Again, neither are going to be asked for huge roles, at least early, unless injuries occur. But I think Tank Bigsby's done a really nice job, and I think he's going to look good in these joint practices against Tampa.
The backup running back, the number 2 back, the former Auburn Tiger, the subject of this Hays Carlyon one-on-one.
We are pleased to be joined with Jaguars running back Tank Bigsby here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I haven't talked to you since last season, and it a big off season for you.
Yes, sir. It is. Just grinding, keeping God first, and keeping my best foot forward, really.
And some great family news. Can you share that with us?
Oh, yeah. I just got engaged this February, and looking forward to it. Looking forward to the big day. Very thankful.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
How's camp going for you?
It's going great. I just been taking day by day, looking at the little things and handling the details of the things that I need to handle, really. So just really ready for the season and get opportunities to get going.
You've obviously performed very well. How has your confidence grown over these last few weeks?
I've been reading a good book, and they say faith is confidence. Yeah. So your confidence comes from having faith. So, I just put all my faith in God, and by reading His Word, living through His Word, and, everything else took care of itself. And my confidence level just shot through the roof. Rookie year was kind of tough. It was challenging, different things there was just a lot of stuff was just different. So, but just looking in from the inside now, I just know when I get an opportunity, whatever my role is, just take full advantage of it.
How nice was it to have a break? Because anytime you leave college, you got to go through the draft process, then you get drafted, you land here, you got to learn a new scheme, get used to a new city, new team. How nice was it just to have those months to decompress and kind of work on your craft and not have to worry about the draft process and all that stuff?
Man, it was a blessing, man. It was an honestly blessing just to hit a reset, man, because it was really like last year was like no stop. It was just like after the season, starting to prepare for the draft, all that stuff. You know how the draft process is, and then after the season, you just get a complete break. And it was real good. I got time with the family. Of course, I got engaged, and just looking at life and the details of my job now. So it was fun. I needed it.
What's it been like going into year two, being familiar with what's being asked of you offensively, and are you seeing those strides on the field?
Year two is real big for me personally. I'm taking it personal, but one thing I can say is, that's one thing I'm still trying to learn is, when they give you a role, what role is it or what your role is, just do good at your job. And, we'll know that after camp. So just pay attention to that. But everything I'm doing, I'm just keeping my best foot forward. At everything they ask me to do, I try to do it at my best.
How did you feel like you did against the Chiefs?
Always can be better. We left a little out there. We got to press it a little more, coming back to the film room. Of course, we're going to be hard on ourselves, but kick return, got to keep my feet, just the little things. And I'm glad it happened preseason, and when the season comes, all the mistakes and everything go away, and it'll be time to go.
On that kick return, Tank, what's it like? What are you kind of reading there, and do you like the new format?
Yeah, I love it. It's like a big inside zone play, You get double teams, or not double teams, but like you get everybody run one way, and you can cut back. Like whatever the lanes is, just using your vision and let your God-given talent take over.
You excited to see Tampa Bay come in here for a couple joint practices?
Oh yeah, I can't wait, man. Get to go against somebody else, and excited. A couple Auburn guys on their team, so get to go against KJ Britt. That's he was my captain when I was at Auburn. Can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Tank Bigsby, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate Tank Bigsby's time. And again, he's had an outstanding training camp. Thought he looked good against the Chiefs. I'm curious to see how much opportunities. Really, the Jaguars have a really good problem now when you look at that kick return, because I don't know how many they're going to see, but they didn't even use Duvernay the other night. But Parker Washington looks fantastic.
He does.
Tank Bigsby looked fantastic doing it. So. And it kind of, to hear Press Taylor kind of talk about it basically, and I think Doug talked about this too, it basically becomes, a zone run. And so if from a running back standpoint, it really seems to fit Tank's eye. You heard him talking about it. Really seems to fit his eye with how the play sort of breaks and the options that he has. So if you're the Jaguars, you've got 3 really outstanding options for that, which means you're probably starting a lot of drives at your 30.
Yeah. Well, that's right. And there's just a lot of pieces, man. I just feel like they got to clean some things up, but I feel like they've got a lot of pieces. Let's take a break. Hays has headlines on the other side. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
At Hodges Mazda, we are proud of our solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. Lauren Brooks here. As your hometown Mazda dealer, our high customer service standards and our huge inventory of new and used cars provide our customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Our professional non-commissioned sales team always puts your best interests first. Plus, every vehicle purchase comes with 2 years free maintenance. What Mazda moves you? Find out. Visit Hodges Mazda today or shop online at HodgesMazda.com to discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harrell & Harrell. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, it's Matt Hays, and summer's in full swing, and air conditioners are fully stressed. But do what I did and call the good folks at Fenwick Home Services to stay cool and comfortable all season long. Need a new AC? Fenwick has same-day estimates and next-day installations on energy-efficient systems. And your new system is backed by a warranty of up to 12 years. That's right, 12 years. Fenwick also offers same-day 24/7 service day or night, and their expert technicians will get the job done and get it done right the first time. Book online now at FenwickHomeservices.com.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hays Carlyon for MyBookie. Embrace the start of football season with MyBookie. It's time to get in on the action before these lines start to move. Take advantage of their live betting also, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag and register for a free account. Use promo code 1010XL to grab a welcome bonus up to $1,000. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Gators are a 2.5-point underdog in the Swamp against the Canes. The over-under is 54 points. FSU is an 11.5-point favorite over Georgia Tech in Dublin with an over-under of 55.5. And the Jaguars, a 3.5-point underdog at the Dolphins. The over-under is 48.5 points. There are also tons of cool prop bets as well. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it's a bonus up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Training camp is about the basics.
Focus on the fundamentals.
Every time something you need to know happens at training camp, you'll hear about it on 1010XL. Brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control and Roland Reach Plumbing.
Tropic Fan Fest is on at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. You know what that means. Free smoothies for Tropic Rewards members all week. Monday, free smoothie. Tuesday, free smoothie. Wednesday, another one. Thursday, another one. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you guessed it, more free smoothies with bowl or food purchase. Don't miss a day. Download our app and join Tropic Rewards to get in on the fun. Tropic Fan Fest is now through August 18th at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Terms and conditions apply.
Hacker here with a new opportunity for you. The 20-pound Summer Slim Down with Awaken 180 weight loss. Dropping 20 pounds before summer ends, cruising to your goal of 30, 40, 50-plus pounds down. It's simple. You take the last few weeks of summer, eating, drinking, enjoying the weather, but the difference? You're doing it with the 20-pound Summer Slim Down. But you say, Hack, summer's almost over. Well, that's the point. The pounds melt off fast with Awaken 180. I dropped my first 20 in less time, and that easy 20 propelled me to reach my goal of losing over 85 pounds. Think about it. You're about to slide back into the same old fall routine with the same old mindset. Mix it up. Live up the rest of your summer while dropping the first 20. Then jump into fall with a whole new groove. Yeah, I said it, and you'll be saying it too in just a few weeks. 20-pound summer slim down with the solution for weight loss. Online, awaken180weightloss.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Offensive coordinator Press Taylor spoke to the media to talk about the installation of the offense and what the difference is between getting those reps against the defense in practice and what it's going to be like going against another team's defense.
Hey, let's try this with a different route, and then we'll go into camp and try it against our defense with something else. And it may be, hey, we have to ask Ryan for a certain coverage. Hey, can you give us this look? And we want to see how something plays out. But now as you get into Tampa, you try some of those things. So you're getting new defenses, you're getting new coverages, and so you kind of test some of the things you've been talking about since April, May, June, whatever that was.
It's going to be fun to watch the offense compete against a brand new defense, but definitely a tough team. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. JJ LaSelva is here. I'm Hays Carlyon. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, Jaguars practice tomorrow. Here comes the Bucs. Give us a couple of matchups. We've got Mike Evans, Vita Vea rolling into town. The Bucs have a first-round rookie center. Tristan Wirfs. Who's got your attention? What are you looking forward to watching?
I think probably of everything, the young secondary, the new secondary, the reconfigured secondary of the Jags against that receiving core. I think that more than anything else. But I like all of it. I do think they've got a good line. You're right. And I think that good line will test the Jaguars' defensive front. But I would say Evans and company against the Jags secondary with a veteran quarterback throwing to him will be probably what I watch the closest.
Yeah, in Tampa Bay, that Jalen McMillan, I think they took him in the third round. That rookie receiver is really drawing raves. So Evans, Godwin, and McMillan should certainly be a good challenge for this Jaguars secondary. Should be a lot of fun. Starts tomorrow, 2 days, and then they have the game on Saturday. Good news for the Jaguars on the injury front. They activated defensive lineman Eric Armstead off the PUP list this afternoon. So Armstead, I don't know how much work he'll get specifically against the Bucs. I still think he will be eased in, but great to see that Eric Armstead now can participate in practice.
Yeah, it really is, and it'll be fun to see, how much they use him and what way do they use him. I agree with you. By the way, one other thing about the Bucs, I said this the other day. It'll be fun. This is a game where you don't have a lot of starters playing for either team, I'm guessing, but you probably will have Mac Jones versus Kyle Trask. The other quarterback in Tampa Bay is Johnny Wolford, who played here. Is this the first time as a pro he's played in Jacksonville?
I would think.
I think it is. I think this will be Bishop Kenny quarterback. Grew up in my neighborhood, by the way, and so a really good player. And so, I didn't even think to mention that the other day. And this is a game he's going to play a lot.
Yeah.
I've got to believe if they get a lot of work in Wednesday, Thursday, the Bucs don't play anybody either.
Right.
So Baker Mayfield doesn't play.
Correct.
So Trask and Wolford, you would think are going to split that game. Again, for Jacksonville people,
that's really cool.
That's a cool deal. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Absolutely. It's a great point. Offensive coordinator Press Taylor met with the media prior to today's practice. Talked about how much he likes the back-end depth and talent of this offense. Makes sense, Frank. They scored 26 points against the Chiefs. That was the fourth most in the that week of NFL preseason games.
Well, I'll give you an example. And we say this every year, but I think it's more true than ever this year. If you look at the receiver room, in all likelihood, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, and Brian Thomas Jr. are your starters. I think Parker Washington is locked up number 4. Devin Duvernay is going to factor in as a receiver. Elijah Cooks is the 6th guy. I actually think he's become a pretty darn good receiver. I think he's legitimately become a good player. Now, the problem is, does he beat out Tim Jones, who's not nearly as good a receiver, but is a real terror on special teams? This is legit this year. That's 2 guys that can really help your football team. What would you do? Cooks is by far the better receiver, but do you need your 6th receiver to play? And if Jones is a very good gunner, and if Cooks may not be quite as good a special teams guy. What do you do? What do you do?
To me, you've got to prioritize special teams for that spot. So to me, if it's Jones versus Cooks, then I would take Jones.
I think that might be where it lands.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to mean more on Sunday than a receiver that's not going to get any targets.
All right, do you keep 7 to protect Cooks, or do you take your chances?
I'd take my chances.
Yeah,
receiver is so deep in this league now.
I agree, but I think it comes down to that. I really do.
Absolutely. I think it absolutely could come down to that. And I think, again, when you talk about that depth, I think the tight end room is developing some, and the offensive line. I mean, again, if we know the starting 5, but if you then have Walker Little, Blake Hance, Cooper Hodges, Luke Fortner, Javon Foster,
and you haven't mentioned Tyler Shatley. Yeah,
that's pretty good depth.
I agree with you. Walker Little and Blake Hance are ready to play. Tyler Shatley's ready to play if he makes the team, veteran guy, and what Cooper Hodges might give you more than any of those 3 guys is the physicality that they need to add. I agree with you. And do you cut Foster, who you just drafted? Probably not.
Probably not. And Fortner is. I know it didn't go well last year, but he does have 30-something starts for you.
Yeah, right. So so I agree with you. There's for the first time. Again, I'll say it again. They're one of the good teams. There's been too many years. It's year 30, man. There's been too many years. If you really said the good teams versus the teams trying to get there, they'd be in the second category, not the first. They're in the first now.
Absolutely. So good to see safety Tashawn Gibson back in a Jaguars uniform. He met with reporters after practice today, and the 34-year-old had some great lines throughout. But the message that I really liked, he said, you know what? So much of NFL success is above the shoulders. Talent is great, but it's nice to have the age and wisdom. And that's why he's here. I mean, I think he's going to play really good football. If there's still gas in the tank, Tashawn Gibson will be a good signing for the Jaguars. But boy, that experience that he can bring to that room, I think it's going to be invaluable for the Jaguars.
And let me tell you what that above the shoulders means in my mind. What my translation of that is, everyone's smart. It's not about are you intelligent enough. I don't believe. After all, they go through school, they practice, they learn. I don't think they're the ones that don't have the great instincts aren't intelligent. But can they make that decision instinctively? Boom. The NFL's fast, man. Everything's fast. Every play's fast. Every player's fast. Everything happens fast. How many times you hear a rookie, the speed of the game's what threw him off? That's almost become an NFL cliche. Well, can you make those decisions instinctively, Hays? That's what the above the head is not are you an intelligent. There's a lot of people that are probably very intelligent people that can't make that decision. I mean, think about this. I'm serious about this. Guys like you and I, normal guys, we're probably relatively intelligent people. Guys successful in life, whatever, lawyers and doctors and business owners and leaders. But would they make decisions as quickly and instinctively as a starting linebacker would? Now, I'm not even talking about being physical or good, just instinctively. That's what makes you good, is those guys have great instincts, is in addition to intelligence, you have to know how quickly to do it and what to do it. It's a fascinating thing. It really is.
It absolutely is. Let's get it to around the NFL. Brandon Ayuk, the talented San Francisco receiver. We have kind of an update from Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter. It seems like the Steelers are in great shape, that Ayuk is signed off, but it's just a matter of the 49ers, I think, getting it to where they're convinced Ayuk is not going to take their offer. The report is the 49ers have given Brandon Ayuk a good offer. They've got the compensation worked out with the Steelers. So, Frank, it seems like it's going to be either 49ers or Steelers this season for Brandon Ayuk.
I think he is really giving himself all the leverage here. Even though he still has a 5th year and could play in the 5th year option, he refused to do that. He's made it clear those are the only 2 teams he wants to play for. And I'll say what I said before. I still would be surprised if it's the Steelers, because at least for me, for following them all those years, and even now, I don't follow them like I once did, but we follow we know the MO and tendencies of all the teams. They don't strike me as a team that would come up with proper compensation for this. They just strike me as a team that would rather draft players than so. But they must have come up with compensation that the 49ers agreed to. It just comes down to now he's now a free agent that gets to pick. He gets to pick which team he wants to play for. Take the 49ers, and I'm guessing the extensions are probably similar. Would you agree?
I would think.
I would think the extensions are probably similar, so it just comes down to who do you want to play for.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when the Ayuk saga finally wraps up. The Vikings have announced rookie quarterback J.J. McCarthy will undergo knee surgery to repair a meniscus injury suffered in their preseason opener. Boy, that's a tough blow. Sam Darnold was going to be the starter there to begin the season, but still, obviously, that's going to be tough for Minnesota not having McCarthy, I would think, for a few weeks at least.
It really is. The good news is it's meniscus, it's not a ligament, which means it's not going to be 6 months to a year or whatever. It's not an ACL or an MCL or a PCL, whatever. But, yeah, the meniscus, here's the thing with meniscus, what our friend Kevin Kaplan's told us. They trim it up, and the rehab time is much faster, but there's a pain element. There's a manage the pain element when you've had to trim up that meniscus. So we'll see. Yeah, it is a bad break. Again, he wasn't going to open the season as their quarterback, but you want him on the field sooner rather than later.
Yeah, more injury news in the NFC North, where Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs hurt his hamstring last night. Gibbs rushed for 945 yards and 10 touchdowns as a rookie last season. He also had 316 receiving yards and another score. A dynamic young player. Definitely somebody that the Lions are counting on as they have Super Bowl aspirations. That will be an update that will be on the minds of a lot of people, both in real NFL football and as these fantasy football drafts get ready to occur, because he is a big-time talent.
You know fantasy better than I do, but in terms of the real football part, he's a big part of that offense. It's a dynamic offense. They've got one of the best coordinators in all of football. Jared Goff has a new life and has played very well. But Gibbs is a gigantic part of that. You're exactly right.
Patriots coach Jared Mayo has a very intriguing and I think smart policy when it comes to fighting during joint practices. He says it's simple. If our players fight, if they're starters, I'm going to make them play in the whole preseason game.
Right.
And if they're backups, they're not going to play at all in the game. Makes sense.
That's perfect.
Probably puts a stop to the fighting.
Yeah, I will say this. The joint practices are really good, and that's where the league has gone and will continue to go there as we continue to reduce preseason games, which I think you'll see in a couple of years. But you have to be careful of the fighting. The fighting is everybody's macho guy, and everybody you're not gonna show me up guy, and you're not gonna show my team up. But you have to be careful of that. You have to. I worry that, fortunately, these fights usually don't leave anybody injured, like football injuries. But you worry that someone's going to catch one. I really do worry about that.
No doubt about it. And we will be certainly monitoring 2 practices with the Jaguars and Bucs over the next 2 days. And Doug Peterson made it very clear he will not tolerate fighting.
I will say coaches around the league that's the one thing they really worry about this time of year. Is they don't even worry about guys getting in trouble after camp because they're too tired.
Yeah.
They worry about fighting they worry about fighting, and they really worry about fighting in the joint practices. I'm telling you, that's a thing in the league now.
No doubt about it. We saw the Giants and Lions each get fined $200,000 a week ago for fights that they had in their joint practices. Let's get to college football. Jim Harbaugh will not be attending Michigan's first game as honorary captain. The official word is he does not want to leave his Chargers team. They're just too close to the season, and he wants to stay in the foxhole with the Chargers.
That's probably some of it, but I also think some of it, Hayes, is as much as it was a take that from Michigan to the NCAA. I don't think he wants to be a distraction. Michigan, it's an important season for Michigan. They still got a good team, but they don't have their coach and they don't have their quarterback from a year ago. Don't be a distraction. It's probably the right decision.
Let's get into our pop culture element of the day. Today's pop culture nugget is a flashback because this happened back in 1982.
Cubans were in a constant state of revolt. In 1904, the United States decided to throw a little weight around and, who is it?
The pizza guy.
Again?
Mr. Pizza Guy, sir. Order the double cheese and sausage.
Right here, dude. Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you are doing?
Learning about Cuba, having some food.
Mr. Spicoli, you're on dangerous ground here. You're causing a major disturbance on my time.
I've been thinking about this, Mr. Hand. If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time? Certainly there's nothing wrong with a little feast on our time.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Spicoli. It is our time. Yours, mine, and everyone else's in this room. But it is my class. Hamilton, Brandt, Kornfeld, up front. Mr. Spicoli has been kind enough to bring us a snack. Be my guest. Help yourselves. Get a good one.
Get a good one. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, released in
Wow.
1982
How
on
about
this
that?
day. Hard to believe. This movie is 42 years old today, made for $5 million. It made $50 million and became, I don't even know if you could say cult classic. It's just always been a comedy classic. And the young talent in this film is obviously extraordinary. Sean Penn, Phoebe Cates, Judge Reinhold, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Forrest Whitaker, among others.
Yep.
One of the best coming-of-age comedies ever made.
Have you, by the way, two things. Have you heard Judge Reinhold interviewed about being Brad Hamilton?
No.
Like in recent years? It's absolutely hilarious. I mean, you got to hear him. 'Cause he also talks about the Eddie Murphy cop
Beverly
movie.
Hills Cop.
He talks
yeah.
about that too, but it's really funny. And I did not realize that it was on this day. But is it true or false? Did you just spend a minute 12 seconds talking about Fast Times and not mention Phoebe Cates?
I did. Well, in
just
the
now you did.
cast, yes.
Okay. I mean, that's got to be the longest for an American male to have ever talked about.
It was hard.
Fast Times without mentioning Phoebe Cates.
It was a difficult assignment. Phoebe Cates, unbelievable in the movie.
What a fantastic movie.
I mean, the scene, this would have been a great clip, but it's more, you have to see it than translate to radio. But what Forrest Whitaker as Jefferson is awesome.
Awesome.
I mean, he's this 5-star football player, linebacker, and they wreck his car because Spicoli's friends with the younger brother.
Right.
And they don't know what to do. And so they decide the big rivalry football game is coming up. So they wreck the car, they vandalize the car, and make it look like the enemy's team did it. And then he just goes out and has about 47 sacks in the game. It is fantastic. It's a great movie.
It is probably as well cast as any movie. I mean, if you think about the roles they were all asked to play, it's perfect. Was there anybody in the history of the world that could have played Spicoli better than Sean Penn?
No, not at all.
I mean, it was perfect.
It really was. Yeah. So anyway, happy anniversary to Fast Times at Ridgemont High. 42 years old today. We're going to celebrate another anniversary for our musical nugget of the day. Today marks the 51st anniversary of Lynyrd Skynyrd's debut album. It sold over 1 million copies. Wow. This is, of course, Freebird, which launched the Jacksonville group into stardom, but the album also has classics like Simple Man, Gimme 3 Steps, and Tuesday's Gone. 51 years.
How about that album?
Oh, yeah.
When you talk about these great albums, just the 3 songs you just ran off, I mean, how about that? Great work, Hays, as always. A Jacksonville moment for sure. Perhaps, with apologies to the Allman Brothers, maybe the greatest Southern rock band.
Yes.
Maybe the greatest Southern rock band of all time. Lynyrd Skynyrd. We'll take a break. One more hour to go on the program. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Your place for Jags news. Jacksonville Sports Superstation has the Jaguars covered. 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey folks, if you're looking for an automobile, this summer happiness is a brand new Chevy, like a new Chevy Silverado from Nimnick Chevrolet. This month, you can save up to $10,000 off a new Silverado. For well-qualified buyers, you can get rates as low as 1.9% financing on all new Silverado 1500 models. With the largest inventory on the ground, outstanding cash incentives, and the best price guarantee, your perfect truck is waiting for you at Nimnick Chevrolet. Now remember, Nimnick will always give you top dollar for your trade, and for a limited time, up to an additional $2,250 in trade assistance. What a great deal that is! And ask about our demo models for even deeper discounts. Shop online 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership, conveniently located at the corner of Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. Woolsey Morecambe is your MVP in the legal game. Our team of skilled attorneys tackle personal injury cases with compassion and expertise. With fumbles like a car or truck accident, we're here to seek the compensation you deserve. Right here in Jacksonville, we've successfully won over $100 million and earned a championship-worthy record. When it's game time, you want a team that plays to win. Contact Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY. Offices, Jacksonville.
Big Chief Tire makes auto care affordable with 6-month financing on their CFNA card, plus $50 off your next service. Frank Frangie here. With no interest for 6 months, now is the perfect time to take care of your vehicle. Whether you need new tires, brakes, or general checkup, their skilled technicians have you covered. Visit BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 to learn more and schedule an appointment at one of their 5 locations. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation, with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
Don't just watch the position, learn the position.
Denny Thompson is the quarterback whisperer, and he knows.
We invite you into the lab so that you can truly learn the quarterback position.
Friday mornings on The Drill, brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
Attention sports fans, are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the major games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com. Bet anywhere, win here. Only at Best Bet.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy, higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatersparking.com and book your space today.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Oh, no. No.
You okay in there?
Toilet's backed up. It won't flush.
Okay, I'll call the pros.
The tank isn't filling. The handle does nothing. Run for your life.
Don't be so dramatic. Duck Duck Rooter will fix it.
For any plumbing issue, call Duck Duck Rooter, your local plumbing professionals and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to bring your friends out and enjoy our spectacular golf course, which is carved out of some of the highest elevations in North Florida. Hidden Hills Golf Club, unlike any other. Check us out, hiddenhillsgc.com.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. ESPN's Paul Feinbaum was extremely critical of the Florida State Seminoles when he appeared on First Take this morning. Feinbaum thinks the departure of key players like Jordan Travis, Keon Coleman, and Jared Verse will affect the chances of the Noles' success in 2024.
I think they're going to get caught in the run-of-the-mill ACC game this year, which they did not encounter last year. They lost the guts of their defense. They have a quarterback who has certainly been around and remains a question mark, and I think they also have a hangover. I think they used up too many tears crying about not getting in the playoffs, and that may slow them down a little bit this year.
Sound courtesy of ESPN. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are back at 121 Financial Ballpark tonight, kicking off their 6-game series with the Memphis Redbirds at 7:05. It's 94 degrees at 5:04. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnicht Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We thank our friends from the Nimnicht family of dealerships. Nimnicht Chevrolet is on Cass at Nimnicht Buick GMC is on Phillips Highway. Been driving Nimnicht cars for as long as I can remember. 1982 is the first time I bought a car on my own. Billy Nimnicht Jr., God rest his soul, taught me how to buy a car. And Billy Nimnicht III and Lee Nimnicht, that wonderful family, runs that thing. And it's still the only place I'm buying cars. I can tell you that. If you want to buy a car, Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cass at Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway. Really good people. Really, boy, just a hallmark of Jacksonville car dealerships and sports sponsorships. And I'm proud to be a spokesman for Nimnicht. I mean that very sincerely. We got football. I'm still fired about football. We're going to get to some college football. You got tickets over there? Do you have any?
I found some.
Sorry.
You're asking the wrong
person. Hey, do you have any tickets?
I don't have tickets. I'm not connected, but luckily somebody
you have none?
on this show is very connected.
You checked? Yes. You say?
I definitely don't.
Did you check or did you just say that?
Well, let me check. I still don't.
Okay.
Okay. But luckily,
JJ, got any tickets?
Unfortunately, I ruined the bit by talking. But yes,
I should have given him a heads up.
The Jaguars.
JJ, I'm going to Hays first here.
Yes, I do have tickets to this weekend's game.
Right.
So yeah, pair of tickets to the Jags vs. Bucs preseason game this Saturday at 7:30.
Caller number?
Let's go caller number 5 right now.
Caller number 5, 641-1010. And you're going to see it. I can't wait. So Paul Feinbaum said he doesn't think FSU will be as good as other people think, and doesn't even think they'll be ranked at the end of the year. I think that's preposterous. I think they've got too many good players at too many spots. But I do wonder this. How much of these last 2 magical years for the Noles, where they've won 23, 24 games, however many total they've won in the last 2 years, Hays, how much of that? Now listen, they loaded up the combine with players. Every time you turned around, there was an FSU guy at the combine. And they were really good players. I mean, really good NFL players. And they're loaded again. I think they're off their defensive line. We were talking about this with Rick the other day, with Josh Farmer, Darrell Jackson, Patrick Payton. Who wouldn't want those 3 guys on your defensive line? If Marvin Jones Jr. is good and all 4 of those guys on the front are good, look out. I mean, who wouldn't want that as your group, right? I mean, it's a really good defense. They've got athletes, people that watch them practice over here at UNF and in the flex field. I didn't get to go over there. They look as athletic as ever. So I think they got a lot of good players. So I think they're going to be very good, and I think you do too. But the one question out there, and Feinbaum's point is they just lost too many players. My question is, how many of those 23 wins the last 2 years, 24 wins?
Well, what was it last year? 13?
13 last year. Was it 10 the year before?
Maybe 11-3 because I think they won the bowl game.
Yeah. So,
they had that 3-game losing skid, but I think they won the rest of them.
Right. So, yeah, that's right. So
well, no, you're right. They would have been 10-3.
But the point is,
they won 23 games. Yeah.
How many of those wins were because of the magic of Jordan Travis, which you don't have anymore? I mean, Jordan Travis wasn't just good. He was magically good in the most important moments.
Without a doubt. I mean, he has had a legendary career. Obviously, you think back to the win over Florida in Tallahassee when he made 2 of the greatest escapes that I've ever seen a player make, and he made them about 45 minutes apart from each other. Plays that should have been 9-yard losses turned into either touchdowns or the ball at the goal line. And a game that ended up being very close, that Florida had a chance to throw a ball into the end zone to win it. So that's just one example of a game where, I mean, the victory starts and ends with Jordan Travis and his heroics and what he is able to do as a multi-dimensional threat. I think again, that's the thing is Jordan Travis is a spectacular collegiate player. And it's difficult when you lose a player like that to not have some sort of a drop-off. And I think there'll be a drop-off because if they had Jordan Travis back, if he was eligible, I mean, I think you'd have to pick FSU in your top 4 if they had Jordan Travis back, even with losing Verse and Fisk and Jarian and all the player, Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson and Bell. But I think so. There'll be I think there'll be a little bit of a drop-off. But it's not going to be that they finish unranked because, again, in looking at it, you can kind of make the argument it's a 4-game season. I mean, it looks like it's home against Clemson, at Miami, at Notre Dame, and home against Florida. And home against Florida may not be that big of a challenge. You may be going up against an interim coach in that game. We have no idea. So, could Georgia Tech in the opener be dicey? Maybe, could a trip to SMU be more difficult than what I think? I don't think so. Could a home game against North Carolina be more difficult? But it looks like that the worst case for them would be to go 8-4, and even at 8-4, they might be ranked. So, I understand Paul Feinbaum is saying things to get attention. But I would be absolutely floored if they're not ranked. I think worst case scenario for Florida State this year is Clemson wins the ACC and Florida State doesn't make the playoff. They're like the 15th. They finished like 15th and just miss it and go to a decent bowl. But that I think is basically the floor for Florida State.
The big question is DJ Uiagalelei. That's the question is in his years in college. He wasn't good enough at Clemson and left. And he left. He was beaten out by Cade Klubnik, who I think is just okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. And what happens if he's not good? Again, Miami's got Cam Ward. Now it's his first year in the program. Florida's got Graham Mertz. But based on what they've done most recently and where they've been, there's not much evidence that they're anything less than pretty dang good. DJ a little different. DJ's had some good moments. He was okay at Oregon State, but he wasn't great. So he's
very inaccurate. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He's just not an accurate passer. If Mike Norvell can fix that, then sky's the limit. But and again, Rick Ballou was at both practices and talked on his show about he was missing high a lot. So those accuracy issues just may not be fixable. And you don't want to be missing high.
Right.
When you miss high, that's how you throw 4 picks in a game against a good defense.
Last year he completed 57%. Now he had 21 touchdowns and 7 picks, but he completed 57% of his passes. So we'll see. I think that's a big part of their season. Again, my guess is Florida State has got better players at more positions than their opponent. It's just about let me say that again. They have better players than their opponent at most positions most of the time this year. That's what I'll say.
I would agree. I mean, I think their plan to win can simply be run the ball, play good defense, play good special teams, and make him a game manager.
And can you win in this day and age like that?
I think with their schedule, they can go 10-2 and win the ACC.
And that's the question. So we'll see. We'll take a break. We come back. Florida lost a defensive lineman. I want to talk about that for a second. I don't know much about Jabari Lyons. He was a backup on a line that I wasn't sure was very good anyway. But I will tell you this. If they're not good on the defensive front, in that league with that schedule, you have no chance.
No chance.
We'll take a break. We'll talk about it after this. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
There's a new one-stop shop for all things Gators. Subscribe to the 1010XL Gators YouTube channel. Up-to-the-minute updates, instant reaction from Gainesville, plus the same 1010XL Gators podcast you've grown to know. And check out 1010XL Gators on YouTube.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99. Plus, they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty and free oil changes. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects for the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Deadline August 31st. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool.
Feeling the heat, Jacksonville? Cool down with Bold City Heating and Air. From repairs to energy-efficient installs, we do it all. Family-owned and trusted since 2016, we offer clear pricing, NATE-certified techs, and unbeatable service. Call Bold City Heating and Air today and experience the bold difference.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harrell & Harrell. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harrell & Harrell make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
David Ammon here with Zero Res. So Ammon, your mom mentioned it's been a year since we did a complete house cleaning. The kitchen tile and living room floors are looking pretty dingy. It's time to call Zero Res.
That's right. Most folks know that Zero Res does an amazing job at cleaning their carpets and rugs, but they don't know that Zero Res can clean their tile and grout, LVP, and wood floors.
And right now, Zero Res is offering 25% off all hard floor cleaning. Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
C-E-R-O, Zero Res. There are so many ways you can catch me, Mia O'Brien.
Helmets and Heels.
Weekdays, noon to 2.
And on 1010XL's video and social channels. All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
It's Mo Time with Mo Bryan
on 1010XL.
When the sun goes down, you might think a golf course shuts down, but not at the Golf Club of Southampton. Join the gang every Thursday night for trivia with Brooke and Jason, and everybody's favorite night, Friday night on the patio, featuring local musicians, food, and drink. It's all at the Golf Club of Southampton. Great golf. You've come to expect that. But don't forget, when night falls, the fun doesn't stop. Trivia every Thursday night in Southampton's live music patio session Fridays. Call 287-PLAY to make a tee time and the good time.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
It all comes down to Daytona and the Coke Zero Sugar 400 race weekend, August 23rd and 24th. For your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 24th, answer this question. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for your chance to win.
Mia here. Are you ready for the ultimate college football season? Using MyBookie Sportsbook and Casino platform, you can bet on every game and win anytime, anywhere, straight from your mobile device, no app needed. Just sign up at MyBookie.com and you're ready to rock. Whether you're rooting for your alma mater or your favorite team, there's no better way to experience the season than having action on the games. When you know your team well, it's an easy way to take advantage of props like team win totals or early picks for playoff contention. Last year, MyBookie had some of the best odds on the market for the Wolverines to win the national championship, and Michigan bettors who backed their squad saw a 10 times return on their wager. These types of bets highlight why it's worth it to lay an investment before the season begins. Lock your futures in now while you're waiting for the season to begin, and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus up to $1,000 on that first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to start the season with house money. Don't ever miss out on the action. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
The hottest trend in casual dining has expanded in Jacksonville with its 5th location off 103rd. The Flame Broiler serves up protein-packed rice bowls. It's fast, healthy, and affordable. Order online at flamebroilerusa.com or visit any of our 5 locations. Flame Broiler, simply healthy.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
All right, I've always said this. You win in college football, maybe all football, but you win in college football with quarterback and D-line. I'm a firm believer. That doesn't mean offensive line doesn't matter and receiver doesn't matter and running back and linebackers and defense. Of course, they all matter. But I think you win in college football with a really good quarterback and a really good defensive front. Agree or disagree with that?
Completely agree.
So that's how you win. So Florida loses this guy, Jamari Lyons. Now, he was a backup, but in the tackle spot, you rotate. They're expecting to rotate Cam Jackson, Joey Slackman, Caleb Banks, and Jamari Lyons, those 4 guys into those 2 spots. Without Lyons, Des Watson steps up. I don't think Des Watson can play. I think, I'm sorry, he's 450, and I don't think you can play at an elite level at 450 pounds.
You can't.
I don't think you can do it.
You're also undraftable.
Yeah.
So
right.
why they haven't been able to get that message to him that, look, if you want to play at the next level, you've got to lose 80 pounds. Why that message hasn't resonated is a complete failure of their coaching staff and strength and conditioning program.
So as we sit here, for me, I don't know that the defensive line's very good. I think there's a lot. Justice Boone comes back after being hurt, but I think their best player was Princely Umanmielen, who's now at Ole Miss. I thought he would have been their best defensive player, certainly their best defensive lineman. He's gone. Boone hadn't played in a year. Cam Jackson has never showed me much. Caleb Banks has never showed me much. I do think Kelby Collins and TJ Searcy and some of those young guys will step up. But that's the group I worry. That's the one spot, other than key guys. Mertz is first. Trey Wilson's right there. But other than Montrell Johnson, who did get hurt. There's a handful of key guys. But other than that, the position I didn't think they could lose guys is the defensive front. That's what if Florida's 5-7, and by the way, Florida's 5-7, and in 2025 that Billy Napier is the receivers coach at Auburn, it'll be because of stuff like this.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point.
Well, yeah, because while Jamari Lyons, doesn't appear to be like a superstar, you are counting on him as part of the rotation, and you still have 12 of these games to get through. So, I mean, if you do lose a couple more guys in that interior defensive front, you're going to be where you've been the last 2 years, which is a sieve, and you'll have no hope of stopping anybody, and it'll be another year of really poor Florida defense. So losing Lyons, by himself, that's not a crippling loss for them, but it's just the fact that now you really can't afford any more attrition there, and you still have your whole season to get through. So they're going to have to be very fortunate at that position. I agree. I mean, you look at their defensive front. I mean, hopefully this, Joey Slackman can come in and be an impactful player for them. I would agree with your evaluation of Jackson and Banks. Watson is a guy that, I mean, to be honest, he shouldn't. If Florida was Florida, he wouldn't even be on the roster.
That's the reality.
So
he wouldn't be on the roster.
Yeah, and you can't expect a player like LJ McCray to come in and be a impactful true freshman defensive lineman. It's just not going to happen. You just can't ask it. Just like last year, it was unfair to ask Collins and Searcy to do it. They did some good things at times, but you're just not going to have the consistency that you need to have and the physicality to beat good teams. And so, yeah, it's a concern for a defense that is really trying to just find its way to mediocrity. The last thing they need is to be losing big bodies.
Because they'll probably be pretty good on offense. If Mertz stays healthy, they were actually pretty good on offense at the end of the year. So they're probably, certainly when Mertz was playing, so they'll probably be okay on offense. It is just such an important year to not have any of that stuff go wrong. Because again, they got a young team. But I'll say it again: if you fire Billy Napier, I am 100% convinced you lose DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway doesn't strike me as a guy that he's going to play for a coach right now he doesn't even know. I just don't. It doesn't make sense. He was heavily recruited by a lot of other good teams, and the minute Billy Napier is no longer the Florida coach, I think Team Lagway is going to say, let me go play for a coach I know, like I was here. Don't you think?
Without a doubt.
I think, and I don't follow recruiting. Who did he pick Florida?
I would say Texas A&M and USC would probably be the two that would make the most sense for Lagway.
Okay. Well, if Lincoln Riley was recruiting him, and Lincoln Riley's the coach next year too, and Billy Napier's not, why would he not go there? Texas A&M is a little different because that staff didn't recruit him either. Okay, Mike Elko didn't recruit him, but that's my point is a lot of people recruited him that are still in place at their jobs, and so and again, we don't know how good Lagway is going to be or not be. You do know you damn sure don't want to lose him,
right?
That's the thing.
Well, yeah, you've got really nothing if that happens, and again, it's one of those things that if you've got a substandard defensive line, it's just your ceiling is 8 wins. It just is. I mean, this is a league where premium defensive talent is along pretty much every good team's line, and if you don't have that, it's going to show up. And so we'll see. I mean, I'm not trying to say like all hope is lost for Florida's defensive improvement. But they need Justice Boone to get back into form. I still like the Pyburn kid out of Bowles.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
I think that he's a junior. I think Jack Pyburn is somebody that's now far enough removed from his injury that he may be able to give him something. I do like Tyreek Sapp. I'm intrigued by George Gums, and a transfer portal kid that's long, athletic, burst off the edge kind of player. And I do think in year 2 for Kelby Collins and for TJ Searcy, you're going to see good football out of. They're now ready. They now know what it's like. So making that jump from year 1 to year 2, I think can be substantial. Maybe Cameron James as well is able to do something. And, and again, I have no problem with LJ McCray playing as long as it's like 5 snaps a game in very certain situations. But if you have to ask a true freshman to play along the defensive front for 25, 30 snaps a game every week, you're in for a long year.
Well, because that's the other part of it is you win in college football with quarterback and defensive line, and frankly, usually veteran defensive lines. You usually when you're good, when Florida was at its best in those Spurrier years, it's when Tony McCoy and Brad Culpepper and Kevin Carter and Johnny Church and Ellis Johnson and Henry McMillan and then later in the Urban years, Ronald Powell and I'm drawing a blank. Number 2.
Easily.
Damian Easley. When those guys were older guys is when they were at their best. Same thing at Florida State when Bulwer and Wilson and Wadsworth and Derek Alexander, and when those guys got older is when they were at their best.
I mean, Florida has, if you look at their scholarship breakdown, Florida has 11 defensive linemen that are juniors or seniors. So that's a good number.
It is.
I just don't know how many of the 11 are actually going to be good players that can lead you to a lot of wins in the SEC. But it is a much older team than what it has been, and hopefully that will help carry them through to some improvement. I like the linebackers. I like the secondary. I like what I've heard about guys like Jason Marshall, who I thought was maybe the most disappointing player in the SEC last season. Now seems to have found his stride again, and is looks like he could be a guy in his senior year that is able to give them an outstanding year at corner. I like the safeties. They've got some guys that were young last year that are now experienced. They've added through the portal. So that defensive front, it all comes down to that. Because I think at linebacker and in the secondary, Florida has enough to go compete for 8 or 9 wins. I don't know on the defensive front if they're going to be allowed to do that, because I don't know how well they're going to hold up, and I don't know how well they're going to pressure.
Yeah, again, we've said that the whole nation has said this, from everybody at SEC Media Days to us, to Scott Van Pelt the other day. So much will be riding on that doggone first game.
Yes.
So much of their season, their confidence level, the way they're perceived. And again, even though Josh Pate's the latest to tell us that Miami's going to be very good, better than everyone thought, it's still a home game in the swamp against a team that has not been great for many years. You play a home game in the swamp against a team that has been about as, maybe not quite as pedestrian as you have been, but similarly.
I would say Miami's been worse than Florida.
Well, certainly similarly pedestrian in the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh, yeah, 3 or 4 maybe.
Yeah.
If you're going to extend it out, I would say Florida's even been better.
Miami's had 1 10-win season since 2003. But, I mean, of the guys that are in the mix now.
The thing that's interesting is, what is the mind state of each team 30 seconds before kick, before the captains go out?
Right.
Because neither team really probably thinks, well, we've definitely got this.
Right, I agree.
There's going to be a lot of hope on both sides.
Right.
And so,
I agree with
again,
that.
whichever team gets off to the hot start, that could be what ends up determining it, because I would think confidence is shaky on both sides. But you keep coming back to Graham Mertz and Billy Napier have done this. They have a season under their belts, working together, making in-game adjustments. For Cam Ward and Mario Cristobal, it's the first game they've ever played together, and I think that matters. That's why if Miami beats them in the swamp
with the quarterback there for the first time,
I think Miami's headed to the playoff, and it's why Florida. That's why I think it's so damning for Billy Napier if he can't win it,
right? Because
you're at home, and you know your quarterback, and your quarterback knows you. They don't have that. So if you can't get it done, I think that really reflects poorly on the Gators.
Yeah, it's not like the team with the veteran quarterbacks on the road.
Right.
The team with the veteran quarterback for them is on the road. It's the team with the quarterback playing for them for the first time is on the road, and the team with the guy that's been there in this system for 2 years is at home. That team should win the game based on that. We'll take a break. 1 segment to go. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brett Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The AP College Football preseason poll was released on Monday, and the betting favorites to win the national championship fall right in line with the projected top 5. Georgia is the betting favorite to win the national title at plus 280. Ohio State, ranked number 2 in the poll, the second betting favorite at plus 400. The Oregon Ducks are the third best bet to win the national title at plus 650. Texas right behind them at plus 850, and Alabama is at plus 1400. The Ole Miss Rebels are also plus 1400. LSU plus 1800. This update brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010 XL.
911, what's your emergency?
Help, we don't have air conditioning.
Ma'am, 911 is for emergencies only.
Well, my husband's trying to stuff himself in the refrigerator.
I see. Well, maybe you should call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
To get him out of the fridge?
To get a new AC system.
Beat the Florida heat with Duck Duck Air Conditioning, Jacksonville area's AC experts. For service, repairs to new installations, trust the Duck. DuckDuckAC.com.
Hi,
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Now, any good lineup needs power. When I needed a power connection for our new Walk-Off Charities baseball park, I found the perfect partner in Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys, I'm telling you. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. So call my buddy Zach Ricketts today at 904-320-5960, and you can find them on Facebook as well. You will trust them. That's Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 320-5960.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
Pickett here for Bout 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bout 9. Visit Bout 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bout 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
It's hard to stop the Tomahawk Chop.
I'm RJ Saunders. Follow Florida State's road to the college football playoff on the Seminole Report.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality product and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Calling all fans of Duval to downtown Las Vegas during the game against the Silver and Black. This is Lauren Brooks from Helmets and Heels. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this December for the Jacksonville Game Day Getaway featuring an incredible all-in package. Get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 food and beverage credit, plus a daybed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. The all-in package is only available until August 30th, so act now. To book and to join the Heels in Vegas, visit circalasvegas.com today.
1010XL Weekly is out now. Mia here, and text the word weekly to subscribe to our new 1010XL newsletter and for a chance to win Jaguars and concert tickets. Get an inside look at local sports, trending players, station info, and chances to win prizes all year long.
Hacker here with a new opportunity for you. The 20-pound summer slim down with Awaken 180 weight loss. Dropping 20 pounds before summer ends, cruising to your goal of 30, 40, 50-plus pounds down. It's simple. You take the last few weeks of summer, eating, drinking, enjoying the weather, but the difference? You're doing it with the 20-pound summer slim down. But you say, Hack, summer's almost over. Well, that's the point. The pounds melt off fast with Awaken 180. I dropped my first 20 in less time, and that easy 20 propelled me to reach my goal of losing over 85 pounds. Think about it. You're about to slide back into the same old fall routine with the same old mindset. Mix it up. Live up the rest of your summer while dropping the first 20. Then jump into fall with a whole new groove. Yeah, I said it, and you'll be saying it too in just a few weeks. 20-pound summer slim down with the solution for weight loss. Online, awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals.
we can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Rookie cornerback Jarian Jones is soaking up as much knowledge as he can from the veteran defensive backs in the locker room. Ronald Darby and Jones are creating a bond as they are both former Florida State Seminoles. Jones, who has looked promising so far, is ready to put all the work in he can to fit into Ryan Nielsen's scheme and make an impact early on in his NFL career.
Darby is on year 10, and when he told me, I was like, man. So he was talking to me about when he was at Florida State back in 2013. I was like, bro, at 2013, I can't even tell you what I was doing. I don't even know what I was doing back then. But those are some great guys. Savage, Darby, they teach me a lot day to day. Right now, like I just said, they're harping on me about my eyes right now. So, I think we have some great leaders in the room.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, the cool down tells you where we've been all day in these last few hours. We heard from Tank Bigsby, a terrific backup running back. I think he will be the smash of the Jaguar running game. I think he'll be the downhill runner, the between the tackles guy, and I think he's going to be pretty good. You heard from him. Hays did a terrific job catching up with him earlier in the program. We talked some Seminoles and Gators. Can the Seminoles be as good as everybody thinks, and will they be as good as everybody thinks if DJ Uiagalelei isn't all that? That's the question. How much of that success in the last 2 years was that Jordan Travis magic? That's the question you have to ask, and we'll find out. The Gators lost a defensive lineman. Can they replace them? Critical year for Florida to see whether or not they do that. That's our cool down. That's where we've been over the course of the program today. One segment to go, then we'll turn it over to our friend Rick Ballou coming up in just a bit. I wanted two things we talked about before. Start with Steph Curry. How is he remembered when it's all over? It's Jeter. I said that was
I think that's a fantastic comp.
That's the comp.
I mean, because
good
winner,
guy, well liked.
He does. Curry doesn't have the social extravaganza that Jeter has had.
The gift basket.
Right. That's right.
But from an on the playing surface perspective, I think very similar careers.
Yeah.
Now, Curry did it in a place that had been a graveyard.
Yeah.
Jeter did it
for the Yankees.
With the Yankees.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a little bit of difference there. But I think
the Yankees were down, though.
They were. But they're the Yankees.
But they're the Yankees, yeah.
Yes.
But I would say very much very relatable athletes in how they went about it. Winners, not fantastic athletes really for their sports, but just winners and performed at a very high level for a very long time. I still can't believe Jeter is 6th all-time in hits.
I had no idea. That's an amazing stat.
Yeah.
That's an amazing, especially when you talk about the guy. None of his contemporaries are even in the conversation.
Yeah.
Not even in the conversation. So that's a pretty amazing thing. When I think of Steph, I think of wonderful guy, great in the commercials, good family guy, greatest shooter of all time, great winner. But if I did my best basketball players of all time, the best guys in the history of the sport, and I'm not going to do all of them right now, but I would, for starters, he's certainly not ahead of Michael, LeBron, Magic, Larry, Kareem, Wilt, Kobe.
Oh, I'd put him above Kobe.
You would? Really?
At the end of his career, he's going to be better than Kobe.
Yeah,
Bryant.
I wouldn't.
I would put Shaq above Kobe.
Yeah, I'd have Shaq in that conversation.
I'd have Shaq over Curry.
Yeah, I'd have.
Probably. Now, I think Curry's got like 5 seasons left.
But now that could change stuff too. But
He's 36 right now.
Where is he on that other list? The next list, the list of Stockton, Malone, Barkley, Olajuwon. That next list. That's the next.
I'd rather
list.
have Olajuwon, but I'd probably put him ahead of Barkley and I'd probably rather
over
have
Stockton for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely over Malone.
So okay. So that's the next.
See, I would take Malone over Curry.
But that's the next.
That's a close one.
Yeah.
But that's the next list. So that's the. after the first 6 or 7. You know, I mean,
what about Tim Duncan?
Yeah,
Tim Duncan's better than Curry.
That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
So we've given you like 15 guys.
Yeah, we've got 8 or 9 that we would not put Curry ahead of.
I mean, you said Bird. Magic?
Yeah.
Okay.
To me,
I think when you said earlier in the show was perfect. Probably like right at the end of top 20, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. Somewhere between 10 and 20, based on your preference.
What about Canyon Barry?
Yeah. Well, no, he's ahead of all of them. Okay, so I would have him there. Something else, and I will say this: Michael Jordan's the greatest player of all time. Okay, you'll never move me off that.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this: I looked up the LeBron resume.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
You realize he made 20 All-Star teams?
Certainly the best resume of all time.
Let me read this off for you. 3 gold medals, the all-time scoring leader, top 4 in assists. You ready for this? 20-time All-Star, 20-time All-NBA. He's played in 10 finals, okay? He's been All-Defense 6 times. He's a 4-time MVP. He's a 4-time NBA champ. He's a 4-time Finals MVP. I mean,
you're missing the most prestigious one, the 2023 NBA Cup.
Yeah,
I mean, forget that.
And there's that. So I mean, if you run through this stuff,
yeah, he's clearly the second best player.
He's the second best player of all time.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
But won't you say he has the best resume of all time?
It is the best resume.
I would. Yeah, that I could give you.
But I mean, he would. But he is. No one's going to be ahead of Jordan for me. But I probably was even late to the party of letting him be second. He's second.
Yeah,
he's second. He's ahead of Magic and Bird. Yes. He's ahead of Kareem. He's ahead of Russell, Chamberlain, and Shaq.
Well,
yeah. So that's a pretty good 8 right there. I mean, but it's pretty amazing. I mean, the numbers are pretty mind-boggling. I mean, they're mind-boggling.
There's no doubt. I mean, he is an extraordinary player. I mean, he will be tough to replace. I mean, he will leave a legacy that is unbelievable. But he's not the greatest player to ever do it. It's Michael Jordan. I've seen both careers.
Yeah, same.
And Michael Jordan was the better player.
Yeah, and you're right. We were able to watch both careers in our prime. It's not like I saw one guy and then I was too young or too old to see the other guy. You know, we really, even I'm not really old enough to properly appreciate Chamberlain and Russell. I saw them as a kid, but I didn't see both as an adult. We saw these two as adults,
right?
You know, so I mean, that doesn't mean the opinion's right, but we had enough to have that opinion. So interesting. It'll be very interesting to see how history remembers him. Here's the other thing: when is LeBron ever going to stop? I mean, by the way, it's not like he's winding down.
He's got the gray and the beard. Yeah. It's hilarious.
But it's not like he's winding down.
He had a great season last year. He had best a great three-point shooting year of his career.
He had a great season. He had a great Olympics. It's not like, okay, you know what? It's like Brady. Brady wasn't winding down. Tom Brady finally got to where I just need to stop.
Right.
You know, it's not because he wasn't good anymore. That's why you kept thinking he was coming back.
I still think he is.
Yeah.
But the reason you kept thinking he was coming back, in fairness to you, and even though the rest of the world didn't, is because he could. He could come back and be pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, he could come. I mean, LeBron.
If you're the Raiders, would you rather have Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, or Tom Brady?
Well, there's no question. And you could probably run off 7 or 8 teams like that. Yeah. But I mean, realistically.
Yeah, we haven't reached the point where LeBron is a 6th man coming off the bench.
Right.
We're not even close to that.
I mean, it's not like he was along for the ride in the Olympics.
No way.
I mean, he was probably the most consistent performer.
So realistically, and he's going to be 40, by the way. He's going to be 40 in December.
Wow.
40, okay? So next year, during the season, he will turn 40.
That's amazing.
How many players in the league? If you asked NBA, I mean, guys that really know the league, I mean, if you asked Windhurst and the media guys, whoever,
Bob Ryan and David Aldridge,
how many players, if you could have one player on your team for right now, not future, for to win a championship right now, if you could add a guy to your team, how many players would be picked ahead of LeBron in the league today?
Probably
7, 8,
10. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be it though.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's certainly not 30.
That'd be it. I mean,
for just one season.
I mean, for 1 year, if you could add a guy right now, Jokic, Giannis,
Those are probably the first two.
They're the first two. Luka, probably. That's 3. But I don't know that list goes much deeper. I mean,
would you take like a big man, Embiid or Davis? Or
I don't think I would. I would too.
I agree.
And so there's 3. You know, I mean, in our minds, I wouldn't take
there's certainly guys you're missing.
He might be the best American.
But I wouldn't take Tatum ahead of him.
You wouldn't take like Anthony Edwards yet.
I wouldn't.
I would take. You wouldn't take Tatum. I probably agree with that.
I wouldn't take Steph ahead of LeBron.
No.
I would. So
he might be 4th.
He might be.
That's
he's
crazy.
Top 5. At 40 years old, there's probably not 5 guys playing right now that people would take ahead of him. Right now, that's what's amazing. And I mean, look, it's been hidden the last couple of years because he hasn't been on a very good team. But I mean, it's pretty amazing stuff. So next year will be his 21st All-Star team.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
and his ability to like never really get super injured. I mean, there was a few seasons ago where he missed the end of the season and the Lakers missed the playoffs. But besides that,
do you have his stats? Since you had his resume, what's the fewest games he's ever played in a season?
Yeah. And here's the I don't have that in front of me.
But I think JJ
45.
I mean, that's
and it was that
incredible.
season I was just talking about.
And think about
he has always played a minimum
like 69,
of 51% of the games of the season.
And he's always, and I've always said this, he's always avoided drama.
Mm-hmm.
He's avoided. He's never in the public eye in a negative way. I mean, Jordan was great, but Jordan quit for 2 or 3 years, and many people think it was among gambling allegations.
Right.
We don't know, but I mean.
Makes sense.
That was huge drama.
The worst thing with LeBron was deciding to play in Miami and making a show of
that
it.
was the only negative.
How dare you do something for charity?
Yeah, right. The taking my talents to South Beach is the only sort of blemish on his career. That's the only, and that's even sort of a blemish.
That's like a PR blemish.
Yeah,
that's
that's right.
That's guy blemish.
But that's the one that's the one.
And also,
if you're looking, that's the one you have to come up with.
If he said in that same exact scenario where it's all about him, the decision, the show, the hour special, if he would have at the end said, "I'm staying in Cleveland," not a single person would have ever had an issue with that show.
Great point. If he'd have said it that's a great point.
But it's because he joined up with Wade and Bosch, and people really hated that.
Yeah, but it really, honest to God, is one of the most amazing, one of the most amazing careers in sports.
By the way, this is switching gears a bit, but I like Dwayne Wade, but boy, I thought he struggled as an analyst.
I did too. I did not, and as good as, and Noah Eagle's really good.
Really good.
But why didn't they have Mike Breen?
I don't know.
And I know it was great.
Might have been an NBC thing.
Yeah, but they're both NBC.
Oh, is Bream on NBC?
Maybe I'm not.
He's ABC.
No, he's ABC now. My bad. You just answered the question. He's ABC. My bad. So, you know what? You gave me the answer to the question, of course. And I thought Noah Eagle was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What a future that kid
had. And Dwayne Wade told a couple interesting stories about his career.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, breaking the game down,
it was... Yeah, he was overmatched.
It was bad.
He was all right. Let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers. Discover BioTarget Regenerative Therapy, a safer drug-free solution for lasting pain relief. Visit GoBioTarget.com.
Jordan 1, LeBron 2 for you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I guess so. LeBron's incredible. The game's so different.
It is.
You know what I mean?
I agree. No question.
It's, we always compare. I think it's tough to compare Brady and Manning to Montana and Elway.
It is.
And, you go before that era, you go to Bradshaw, Staubach, Unitas.
When the game was really different.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that the rules were so different that you could kill a quarterback.
Right.
You could kill a wide receiver coming over the middle. I mean, every rule that we see now in the NFL is benefited for what? The fans want more offense. They don't want a 10-7 game. They want a 44-41 game.
Terry Bradshaw threw 2 more touchdowns than interceptions.
What?
Like 212, 210.
Joe Namath has more picks than interceptions.
More picks than, right.
He has more losses than wins.
Isn't that amazing?
How the hell is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
I tell you why. He was in a Speedo and a fur coat. It was 100 degrees out, and he said, we're going to win tomorrow. It was 9.5-point underdogs. Guarantee it.
100% right.
He should not be in the Hall of Fame.
But that is why. He was certainly as dramatic and poignant a player as ever.
Yeah.
What's coming up?
We got that.
Okay,
that's
good.
what I'm going to do tonight.
Joe Namath.
Yeah, no, another hot one today, and I'm never one of those guys that wants to get out of the moment and look forward to the next day.
Yeah, you've lectured me on that.
Yeah, I mean, because too many people are dying. I mean, enjoy the rest of this Tuesday night. I'm fired up for tomorrow, though.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a lot. I think we're going to know much more about this team in 2 practices tomorrow than certainly we learned on Saturday night, because the starters only played a little bit in the first.
And the joint practices have a buzz to them.
Oh,
With
yeah.
the team, the players, the fans, the whole bit. So, all right, very good. Thanks, Rick.
We got all that coming up. Thank you.
Rick Ballew's going into the night with that and a whole lot more. Folks, that'll do it for our program. We're out of here. Don't go anywhere. Rick Ballew is up next. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
When sports news breaks and you need to know, there's just one place you need to go. 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.